Hello and welcome to Property Box News. I'm Simon Evison. Coming up, a look at a legal challenge to right to rent. But first, with the campaigning for the upcoming general election well underway, there have been a variety of calls to place housing and home ownership high on the list of priorities to the incoming government. With demand continuing to outstrip supply, estate agency Hart believe that boosting the supply of new build homes must be a priority. But it also wants to see more radical measures introduced to assist would-be property purchasers, including a stamp duty holiday for first-time buyers, incentives for older families looking to move up the ladder, as well as incentives for older people looking to downsize. Paul Smith, CEO of Hart, commented, as the chronic housing shortage continues to spiral out of control and the size of deposits and stamp duty continue to soar, purchasing a property remains nothing but a pipe dream for millions. And that is hardly a vote winner. The three leading parties have all made pledges to build more homes, ranging between 300,000 to 1 million. Time periods are also varied, as are the associated costs. Meanwhile, think tank the Housing and Finance Institute consider rent control, an important topic to consider, with a particular focus on seaside towns to help the renaissance of these long overlooked communities. Dysfunctional housing markets are at the heart of a spiral of decline in many coastal communities, and the report claims that a toxic trio of poor quality housing, an abnormally high proportion of renting, and a lack of job creation leave tenants and taxpayers often overpaying for houses, which is not worth the rent being charged. It suggests that a locally assessed fair value rent regime could be set reflecting a property's location and quality. Looking then at the individual manifestos published recently, Labour have pledged to ban letting agent fees with extra protection for tenants in London. The recommendations from the consultation on this Tory implementation is not going to be published until after the election, so it's unlikely to affect many voters' decision. And they have also pledged half the homes built go to social housing. Lib Dems have made the strongest pledges to solve the housing crisis with penalties for excessive land banking where builders have planning on land that has not been built on in 3 years, 200% council tax on buy-to-leave property bought by overseas investors, a move to get unused property back in the marketplace, and 10 new garden cities are also in their plans. The Tories, however, have in the main reiterated their pledges from the white paper published recently and promises made in their 2015 manifesto, which included delivering 1 million homes by 2020. The housing shortage is a chronic problem in this country, caused by a succession of governments not following through with their promises. As always, it remains to be seen what actually happens. Introduced in February 2016, the controversial right to rent scheme could face a legal challenge. The scheme, where landlords must check if a prospective tenant is entitled to rent in this country by checking relevant documents to ensure they can legally reside in England, has been widely criticised, mainly with the accusation that landlords are being forced to act as border control guards. The Joint Council for the Welfare of Immigrants has written to the government insisting that they halt the scheme and that legal action will follow if they ignore the warning. The council claims that British black, minority and ethnic people are being discriminated against, and those without passports are finding it difficult to rent a property. Under the scheme, it is an offence with hefty fines if a landlord does not carry out the relevant checks. The intention of the scheme, say the government, is to help crack down on illegal immigration. Sarah Grant, Chief Executive of JCWI, commented, "In the face of clear evidence of discrimination under right to rent, the government must show it is not acting illegally before it presses ahead with the rollout to the rest of the UK. This is a scheme that not only discriminates, it imposes costs on landlords, agents and tenants too." If you've encountered difficulties with right to rent, either as a landlord or a tenant, add a comment below. Would love to hear your views. Rent Smart Wales, the licensing and registration system set up 6 months ago, has issued another warning to landlords that if they do not sign up, they may face prosecution. This applies to landlords of property in Wales even if they reside outside of Wales. Bethan Jones, operational manager of Rent Smart Wales, commented, "We've worked closely with industry experts to develop the Rent Smart Wales scheme, which we firmly believe will help make the private rental sector in Wales a better place for tenants, landlords and agents." So if you haven't registered yet, it's easy to do and can be done quickly online. In a self-regulated industry, these initiatives are valuable and add credibility to a sometimes maligned profession. So once completed, a registration and license lasts for a period of 5 years. And that's all from me this week. Don't forget to add comments below, like us on Facebook and share with friends. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time. Goodbye. The recommendations from in fair Verona, where we lay our scene, 2 households both alike in dignity. Immigration? What's immigration? Isn't it, maybe that's the shortening. I mean, that's what we do, isn't it? You know, Brexit, Brangelina, immigration.